The city council hall was packed to capacity, brimming with excitement over the announcement of a groundbreaking new development. The air buzzed with murmurs of approval as renderings of sleek skyscrapers and bustling plazas filled the enormous screen. At the center of this vision of the future stood Liam Carter, the billionaire CEO of Green Tech Industries. With his sharp suit and razor-edged charm, he seemed every bit the embodiment of progress and ambition. Ella Harper leaned against the wall at the back of the room. Her phone held steady as she live-streamed the event for her growing group of followers. Her jaw tightened with every applause. The project promised green spaces, but she knew better. Nothing in the glossy presentation hinted at the ancient oak tree at the heart of the park. That tree wasn't just a symbol of the city's heritage. It was the city's lungs, and soon it would be gone. "Good evening, everyone," Liam began, his voice smooth and commanding, reverberating across the room. "This is more than just a development. It's a transformation. What we're building here is a new era for our city, a place where innovation and nature coexist seamlessly." Ella almost choked on the irony. Coexist? By replacing nature with steel and glass? The audience erupted into applause. But Ella wasn't here to listen quietly. She stepped forward, her voice cutting through the noise like a blade. "And what about the oak tree?" The room stilled, heads turning toward the source of the interruption. Standing at the center of the spotlight's harsh glow, Ella didn't flinch. She tightened her grip on the phone, her live stream capturing Liam's sharp eyes locking onto her. "I beg your pardon?" he asked, his tone calm but clipped. "The oak tree," she repeated, louder this time. "The one that's been in the park for over 200 years. The one that anchors an entire ecosystem and holds this city's history in its roots. What happens to that tree in your seamless coexistence?" A ripple of unease passed through the crowd. Liam stepped away from the podium, his expression unreadable as he adjusted his cufflinks, a deliberate move, buying himself time. Then came the smile, razor-thin and cold. "Miss," he prompted. "Ella Harper," she said, her voice steady. "And you didn't answer the question." His smile grew tighter. "Miss Harper, progress sometimes requires sacrifice. The oak tree, as valuable as it may seem to you, is a relic of the past. We're building the future here, not clinging to outdated symbols." Ella felt a spark of rage. "Relic?" she shot back. "That tree survived floods, storms, and wars. It's a living testament to resilience. And you want to rip it out for another glass tower? That's not progress, it's erasure." The room buzzed with murmurs. Some of the audience looked at Liam expectantly, waiting for his response. But Ella wasn't finished. "Or maybe," she continued, her voice dropping just enough to make her words cut sharper, "this has nothing to do with progress and everything to do with profits. Maybe it's not about the city's future. It's about your bottom line." The tension in the room thickened. Liam's smirk faltered, just for a second, but it was enough for Ella to notice. She pressed on, "Unless. Of course, there's something else about that tree you're not telling us." There it was, a flicker of something in Liam's eyes. Surprise? Recognition? Guilt? Whatever it was, it vanished almost instantly, replaced by the practiced composure of a man who had weathered his share of public attacks. "That's quite the accusation, Miss Harper," he said smoothly, his voice quieter now but laced with an edge. "But bold words without evidence are just noise. Perhaps you'd care to discuss this in a more constructive manner?" The room fell silent, the weight of his words hanging in the air. Ella could feel her heart pounding, her live stream still capturing every moment. Liam's challenge was clear, and he wasn't expecting her to rise to it. But she would. Is Ella onto something? Could there be more to the oak tree than just its history? Or is Liam's vision for the city the only way forward? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss what happens next in this battle for the city's future and its secrets. The oak tree stood in stark defiance against the encroaching skyline, its sprawling branches stretching out like a sentinel guarding a past that the city seemed desperate to forget. Ella Harper had spent the day at the park, rallying supporters and recording footage of the tree, her phone buzzing constantly with notifications from her growing audience. The video of her confrontation with Liam Carter had gone viral overnight, sparking debates about the true cost of progress. But for Ella, this wasn't just a debate, it was personal. The hum of an engine drew her attention. Ella turned to see a sleek black car pull up near the park entrance. She didn't need to see the driver to know who it was. Liam Carter stepped out, every bit the picture of power and control, His tailored suit and polished shoes were a stark contrast to the weathered pathways and sun-dappled grass of the park. For a moment, he surveyed the scene, his gaze lingering on the oak tree before it settled on Ella. "Miss Harper," he said smoothly, his voice cutting through the gentle rustle of leaves. "Mr. Carter," Ella replied, folding her arms across her chest. "To what do we owe the honor? Here to see what you're about to destroy?" Liam's expression didn't falter, but there was a faint shift in his posture, just enough to suggest her words had landed. "I came to see it for myself," he said evenly, his gaze flickering toward the tree. "The way you framed it online, it seems I'm not just demolishing a park, but tearing apart the fabric of civilization." Ella smirked. "Well, if the shoe fits," his lips twitched, as though suppressing a smile, but he quickly composed himself. "I'm here because I'd like to have a conversation, a real one. Not a spectacle for your live stream." Ella narrowed her eyes. "If you're here to try and buy me off, save your breath." Liam shook his head, his tone softening. "I'm not here to make you an offer. I'm here to understand why this tree, this park, matters so much to you. Surely you know, progress can't happen without compromise." Ella hesitated, caught off guard by his apparent sincerity. She gestured toward the tree, her voice firm but tinged with emotion. "That tree isn't just part of the park. It's part of this city's identity. People have come here for generations to gather, to celebrate, to mourn. It's a living memory. And beyond that, it's an anchor for the ecosystem. Cutting it down would disrupt the soil, the wildlife, even the air quality. Do you really think we can just replace that with another fountain or rooftop garden?" Liam's eyes remained fixed on her as she spoke, his expression unreadable. "I see your passion," he said finally. "But passion without pragmatism isn't enough. Do you really think stopping this project will save the city? We're creating jobs, housing, opportunities. And at what cost?" Ella shot back. "Jobs and housing won't matter when rising temperatures and flooding make this city unlivable. This tree, this park, they're part of the solution, not the problem." For a moment, silence hung between them. Then Liam sighed, glancing at the oak tree as though it held answers he couldn't find. "It's not that simple," he said quietly, almost to himself. Ella caught the shift in his tone, the crack in his otherwise impenetrable armor. "What's not that simple?" she pressed, stepping closer. "Losing the tree, or what it represents?" Liam hesitated, his gaze flickering back to her. "You don't understand the stakes. Miss Harper, there's more to this project than you realize." Ella's brows furrowed. "Then help me understand." But before Liam could respond, a sharp voice cut through the air. "Liam!" A man in a dark suit approached briskly, his expression tense. Ella recognized him from the press event, one of Green Tech's top executives. "We need to go." "Now?" Liam's jaw tightened. "I'll be there in a minute." The man's eyes flickered to Ella, his gaze cold. "This isn't a negotiation." "Carter." Liam glanced at Ella, something unspoken lingering in his eyes. Then, without another word, he turned and walked toward the car. The executive shot Ella one last glare before following. Ella sat in her small apartment, scrolling through comments on her latest video. The support was overwhelming, but so was the opposition. People accused her of being naive, of standing in the way of progress. Others questioned her motives, suggesting she was just chasing attention. She sighed, her fingers pausing over the keyboard as doubt crept in. Her phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number lit up the screen. "Meet me at the park, midnight. Come alone." Her stomach twisted. It didn't take a genius to guess who had sent it. Against her better judgment, curiosity won out. The park was eerily quiet under the pale glow of the moon. Ella stood near the oak tree, her nerves jangling as she scanned the shadows. Footsteps approached, and Liam emerged, his suit replaced with a simple jacket and jeans. He looked less like the untouchable billionaire she'd sparred with earlier and more like a person. "I wasn't sure you'd come," he said, his voice softer than she'd ever heard it. "Neither was I," she replied. "What's this about?" Liam glanced around, as though checking to make sure they were alone. "There's something you need to know," he said, his voice low. "This project? It's not just about development, it's about control. My father, he's still pulling the strings. And this tree, this park, they're standing in the way of something much bigger." Ella frowned, her heart pounding. "What are you talking about?" Liam hesitated, his jaw tightening. "Under this park is a natural aquifer, clean, untouched water. If the project moves forward, they'll drain it. It's not about progress. Ella, it's about profits. The weight of his words hit her like a freight train. And you're just telling me this now? Because I'm not supposed to, he admitted, his voice heavy with guilt. If they find out I told you. They? Ella pressed, her voice rising. Your father? Green Tech? Liam, if this is true, you're complicit. I know, he said, his voice breaking. And I'm trying to fix it. The silence that followed Liam's confession felt heavier than the oak tree towering over them. The revelation of the aquifer hidden beneath the park was more than just a piece of shocking information. It was a devastating truth that reframed the stakes of their battle. Ella's mind raced, struggling to reconcile this version of Liam with the cold, calculating CEO she'd confronted earlier. For the first time, she saw him not as a villain, but as a man caught in a trap of his own making. You've known about this all along, Ella said, her voice low but sharp. You knew this wasn't just about the tree or the park. Liam ran a hand through his hair, his composure cracking under the weight of her words. I didn't know the full extent until recently. The aquifer, the deals, it's all tied to my father. He's been orchestrating this from behind the scenes. Ella's eyes narrowed. And you just went along with it? You let this happen? Liam's gaze snapped to hers, anger flickering in his eyes. You think it's that simple? That I can just wave a hand and make him stop? My father doesn't ask, he commands. He built this company, this empire, and he'll destroy anyone who gets in his way, including me. Ella stepped closer, her voice rising. So, what? You're just another pawn in his game? You're Liam Carter, billionaire CEO, man of the people. Or is that just a mask you wear to keep up appearances? Liam's jaw tightened. For a moment, he looked as though he was going to fire back, but instead, he turned away, staring at the oak tree. I never wanted this, he said quietly. The company, the power, any of it. But when my mother died, everything changed. My father, he became obsessed with expanding the business. He used her death as leverage to push me into this role, to make me his successor. Ella hesitated, the anger in her chest softening. Your mother, what happened to her? Liam exhaled slowly, his shoulders slumping. She was an environmental scientist. She worked with community groups to protect places like this park. She was relentless, passionate. She believed in fighting for what was right, no matter the cost. He paused, his voice tightening. When she started investigating Green Tech's practices, specifically my father's illegal activities, she got too close to the truth. The official story is that she died in a car accident, but I've always suspected it wasn't an accident. Ella felt a chill run through her. You think your father? Liam nodded grimly. I don't have proof, but I know how far he's willing to go to protect his empire. The weight of his words hung between them. For the first time, Ella saw Liam not as the enemy, but as someone fighting his own battles. The fire in her chest reignited, not as anger, but as determination. Why are you telling me this now? Ella asked, crossing her arms. You could have stayed quiet, kept playing the obedient son. Liam met her gaze, something raw and vulnerable in his eyes. Because you're right. About the tree, the park, all of it. And because I'm tired of being a part of something I hate. Ella studied him, searching for cracks in his sincerity. If you're serious about this, if you really want to stop him, you'll need more than words. We need proof. Liam nodded. I know, and I have access to the files we need, but it won't be easy. My father has eyes everywhere. If he finds out what I'm doing, what we're doing, he won't hesitate to bury us. The weight of his words wasn't lost on Ella. But she didn't back down. Then we'd better move fast. 2 nights later, Ella found herself in the sleek, sterile halls of Green Tech's headquarters. Liam had used his credentials to sneak her in, but the tension between them was palpable. Dressed in dark clothes, they moved quickly through the corridors, dodging security cameras and avoiding the late-night cleaning crews. This way, Liam whispered, leading her toward a secured office on the top floor. The files we need are on my father's private server. If we can access them, we'll have everything: financial records, communications, the real environmental impact reports. Ella followed closely, her heart pounding in her chest. And you're sure we won't get caught? Liam shot her a wry smile. Not entirely. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? She rolled her eyes but couldn't suppress a small grin. Despite the danger, there was something oddly thrilling about working with him. It was a far cry from their first encounter, an uneasy alliance born out of necessity. but one that felt right. They reached the office, a cavernous space dominated by floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Liam moved to the desk, typing rapidly into the computer. Ella stood by the door, her eyes scanning for any sign of movement. "Hurry," she urged, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm trying," Liam muttered. "My father's not exactly subtle with his paranoia. His system has more firewalls than a CIA database." Ella's nerves were fraying when Liam finally exclaimed, "Got it!" He inserted a flash drive and began downloading the files. But just as the progress bar crept past 50%, the door burst open. A security guard stood in the doorway, his hand on his radio. "Step away from the computer," the guard barked. Ella froze, her mind racing. Liam stood slowly, his hands raised. "Look, we can explain." Before he could finish, Ella grabbed a heavy book from the desk and hurled it at the guard. The man ducked, but the distraction was enough for Liam to lunge forward, slamming the door shut. "That was your plan?" Liam hissed as they barricaded the door. "It worked, didn't it?" Ella shot back, her adrenaline spiking. They scrambled to grab the flash drive as alarms blared throughout the building. Liam yanked it free just as the door shuddered under the weight of the guards' attempts to break through. "Time to go!" he shouted. The next few minutes were a blur of pounding footsteps and narrow escapes. Ella and Liam dashed through the hallways, narrowly avoiding capture at every turn. When they finally burst out into the night air, Ella gasped for breath, her heart hammering in her chest. "That," she panted, "was insane." Liam grinned, his eyes gleaming with exhilaration. "But we got what we came for." Ella held up the flash drive, her hands shaking. "This better be worth it." Liam's expression sobered. "It will be. With this, we can expose everything." But as they hurried away from the building, neither of them noticed the dark figure watching from the shadows, a phone pressed to his ear. The quiet hum of the flash drive felt almost deafening in the dim light of Ella's apartment. She stared at her laptop screen, the folder labeled Green Tech Private glowing ominously. Liam sat across from her at the small kitchen table, his suit jacket gone and his sleeves rolled up. He looked far less like the powerful CEO she'd first encountered, and more like a man carrying the weight of 1,000 secrets. "This is it," Ella murmured, clicking into the folder. Files upon files opened before her, financial reports, environmental impact studies, internal emails. Each one painted a damning picture of Green Tech's operations. Fraud, environmental violations, bribes, cover-ups, it was all there. And at the center of it all was Liam's father, orchestrating everything like a master puppeteer. Liam leaned forward, his eyes scanning the screen. "This will destroy him," he said quietly, though his tone carried little triumph. "My father. He spent decades building this empire, doing whatever it took to keep it intact. These files won't just ruin his career, they'll send him to prison." Ella's fingers hovered over the keyboard. "So, what's the problem? Isn't this exactly what we need to stop him?" Liam hesitated, his jaw tightening. "If we release these files, it won't just destroy him, it'll take down the company. Too, thousands of employees, innocent people, will lose their jobs, their livelihoods. And my father, he won't go down quietly. He'll fight this tooth and nail. And he'll drag me and probably you through the mud while he's at it." Ella felt her stomach twist. The weight of the decision they faced pressed down on her, suffocating in its enormity. "So, what are you saying? That we just sit on this and let him win?" Liam met her gaze, his blue eyes conflicted. "I'm saying we need to think carefully. If we're going to take him down, we need to be smart about it, strategic. Otherwise, we risk losing everything." Ella stood abruptly, pacing the small apartment as her mind raced. "You've known this was coming?" "Liam, you knew what was at stake when you helped me get these files. And now you're hesitating? It's not that simple." Liam shot back, his voice sharper than she'd ever heard. "This isn't just about him, it's about the fallout, the people who'll get caught in the crossfire." Ella whirled around, her frustration boiling over. "The fallout? Liam, your father has been exploiting people and the planet for decades. If we don't expose this, he'll keep getting away with it. That tree, that park, it's just the tip of the iceberg." Liam stood as well, his hands braced on the table. "Do you think I don't know that? Do you think this is easy for me? He's my father. Ella, whatever he's done, he's still my family." "Family?" Ella's voice cracked with disbelief. "Your family destroyed mine. My father lost his job because of Green Tech's corruption. My neighbors lost their homes. That park is the only thing left of the life we had. And your father wants to tear it down for profit. Don't talk to me about family. Liam flinched, the pain in her words cutting deeper than he expected. He opened his mouth to respond, but the words didn't come. Instead, he sank back into the chair, running a hand through his hair. I want to do the right thing, he said finally, his voice hollow. I just don't know if I'm strong enough to face him. The hours ticked by in silence, broken only by the faint hum of the laptop. Ella sat curled up on the couch, scrolling through the files again and again, looking for something, anything, that could make the decision easier. Liam had retreated to the kitchen, staring blankly at a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. Her gaze shifted to him, watching as the man who seemed so invincible just days ago now looked utterly lost. She wanted to hate him, to blame him for everything Green Tech had done, but she couldn't. He was just as trapped as she was. Finally, she broke the silence. Why did you help me? Liam, really? He looked up, his expression tired but honest. Because you reminded me of her, he said simply. Ella frowned. Who? My mother? Liam replied, his voice soft. She was like you, fierce, relentless, willing to fight for what she believed in no matter the cost. When she died, I lost that part of myself. I became exactly what my father wanted me to be. Until you walked into that hall and called me out in front of everyone. Ella's chest tightened. She hadn't expected that answer. So, what now? She asked quietly. Are you going to keep letting him control you? Or are you going to fight back? Liam hesitated for a long moment. Then, slowly, he nodded. We fight back. The next morning, Ella and Liam sat down to devise their plan. They couldn't just dump the files online. That would create chaos and give Liam's father time to cover his tracks. Instead, they needed a controlled release, one that would ensure the evidence reached the right people while minimizing collateral damage. We start with the environmental impact reports, Ella said, pointing to one of the files. This will prove that the park is vital to the city's ecosystem and that your father falsified the data to push the project through. Liam nodded. And we'll follow it up with the financial records. They'll show the illegal deals and kickbacks he's been hiding. Ella hesitated. And the rest? Liam's jaw tightened. We hold on to it for now. Enough to take down the project and expose the corruption, but not enough to collapse the entire company. Ella frowned but didn't argue. She could see the pain in his eyes, the struggle of a man torn between loyalty and justice. The plan was set in motion, but it didn't take long for Liam's father to catch wind of their actions. Late one night, as Ella and Liam worked in her apartment, a loud knock at the door made them both freeze. Liam stood, motioning for Ella to stay back as he opened the door. Standing there was none other than Robert Carter, his father, flanked by two imposing men in suits. Liam, Robert said, his voice cold and controlled. I thought we raised you to be smarter than this. Liam stepped outside, closing the door behind him. Ella pressed her ear to the door, her heart racing as she strained to hear their conversation. You have no idea what you're doing, Robert continued, his tone low and threatening. You think you can take me down? You're a fool. Everything you have, everything you are, is because of me. I'm not afraid of you, Liam replied, though his voice wavered slightly. You should be, Robert hissed. You're making a mistake, son, one that will cost you everything. There was a long pause before Robert added, and if you think I'll let her walk away from this unscathed, you're more naive than I thought. Ella's blood ran cold. She could feel the weight of his threat like a noose tightening around her neck. When Liam came back inside, his face was pale, his hands trembling. Ella stood, her eyes wide with fear. What did he say? Liam hesitated before answering. He knows about everything. Ella swallowed hard. And he's going to come after us. Liam said, his voice heavy with guilt. He doesn't care about me, but you. He'll use you to get to me. Ella felt a surge of panic, but it was quickly replaced by resolve. Then we don't back down. We see this through. Liam stared at her, his conflict clear. Ella, if we do this, there's no going back. Are you sure you're ready for that? Ella met his gaze, her determination unwavering. I don't care what it costs me. Liam, this isn't just about the tree or the park. It's about doing what's right. And I'm not afraid of your father. Liam nodded slowly, his respect for her growing with every word. Then neither am I. The grand ballroom of the city's most opulent hotel was packed with media, city officials, and investors. GreenTech's annual gala was not just a celebration of its achievements, but a showcase of its dominance. At the center of it all stood Robert Carter, radiating confidence as he greeted guests with a smile that concealed the ruthless power behind it. Ella stood in the shadows near the entrance, her heart pounding in her chest. She wore a sleek black dress borrowed from a friend, blending in with the elite crowd. Her gaze swept the room until it landed on Liam. He was by his father's side, dressed in a tailored suit that made him look every bit the heir to the GreenTech empire. But Ella could see the tension in his jaw, the stiffness in his posture. He was playing his role, but he was far from comfortable. In her clutch was a flash drive, their weapon. The files they had stolen from GreenTech's servers were ready to be released, but timing was everything. Liam had insisted they wait until the gala's peak. When all eyes were on Robert Carter, Liam caught her eye from across the room, giving her the faintest nod. It was time. Liam stepped onto the stage as the room hushed. Robert stood beside him, clearly proud of the son he believed was following in his footsteps. "Ladies and gentlemen," Robert began, his voice booming with authority, "it is my honor to welcome you to our annual gala. Tonight, we celebrate not just our achievements, but the bright future we're building for this city." The room erupted in applause, but Liam raised his hand, signaling for silence. "Thank you, everyone," he said, his voice steady. "Tonight, we do indeed celebrate a future, but perhaps not the one my father envisioned." Robert's smile faltered slightly, his eyes narrowing as he glanced at his son. "Liam," he said, his tone cautious. Liam ignored him, his gaze sweeping over the crowd. For years, GreenTech has prided itself on innovation and progress, but what many of you don't know is the cost of that progress. A ripple of murmurs spread through the audience. Robert's jaw tightened, his smile now a thin veneer of control. "Liam, this is neither the time nor the place." "This is exactly the time and place," Liam interrupted, his voice rising. "The people in this room deserve to know the truth about the lies, the corruption, and the destruction GreenTech has left in its wake." The room erupted into chaos. Investors and officials exchanged worried glances, while journalists scrambled to capture every word. Robert stepped forward, his voice a low growl. "Stop this nonsense right now." But Liam stood firm, his eyes blazing. "No, Father, you've silenced people long enough. Not this time." As Liam held the room's attention, Ella slipped toward the media table, where the event's live feed was being broadcast. She connected the flash drive to the laptop, her hands shaking as she navigated to the files. Her plan was simple: release the evidence directly into the live stream, ensuring the entire city saw the truth in real time. Just as she hit upload, a hand clamped down on her wrist. Ella spun around to see one of Robert's security guards, his expression cold and menacing. "You need to come with me," he said. Ella yanked her arm free, her heart racing. "I don't think so." The guard reached for her again. But before he could grab her, a champagne tray collided with the side of his head. Ella turned to see one of the waitstaff grinning at her, one of the local volunteers she'd recruited earlier.
"Go!"
the waiter hissed. Ella didn't need to be told twice. She darted through the crowd, weaving between guests as more security guards tried to intercept her. Meanwhile, on stage, Robert's composure finally cracked. He grabbed Liam's arm, his grip iron-like. "You think you can betray me and get away with it?" he hissed, his voice low enough that only Liam could hear. "This isn't betrayal," Liam shot back. "It's justice, something you wouldn't understand." Robert's eyes burned with fury. "You're throwing away everything I built, everything I gave you." "No," Liam said, shaking him off. "You didn't give me anything. You used me to keep your secrets, but not anymore." Before Robert could respond, a commotion in the crowd drew their attention. Ella had made her way to the stage, breathless but triumphant. She held up her phone, the screen glowing with the live stream. "The truth is out," she said, her voice ringing clear. "The people deserve to know." The screens around the ballroom flickered, displaying the evidence Ella and Liam had uncovered. Financial records, environmental reports, and damning emails scrolled across the monitors as the room descended into chaos. Gasps and shouts echoed as guests realized the depth of GreenTech's corruption. Robert stepped forward, his face pale but furious. "This proves nothing," he snarled. "These files are fabricated, lies concocted by a disgruntled son and his accomplice." But Ella held her ground. "The data is real, and you know it. The world knows it now." Liam turned to the crowd. "I won't ask for your forgiveness for being part of this company, but I will do everything in my power to make it right. Robert lunged toward Liam, his fist clenched. But security guards, now working for the authorities, summoned by Ella's release, intervened. As Robert was dragged away, he shouted threats, his voice growing fainter as he disappeared from the room. As the dust settled, Ella and Liam stood outside the ballroom, the cool night air washing over them. The media frenzy was still raging inside, but for the first time in weeks, Ella felt a sense of peace. "You did it," she said, looking at Liam. "You stood up to him." "We did it," Liam corrected, his voice soft. "I couldn't have done this without you." Ella smiled, the tension between them easing. "So, what happens now?" Liam exhaled, his gaze drifting to the city skyline. "There's a lot to fix. The company needs a complete overhaul. And the park will be safe." Ella interrupted. "You made sure of that." He turned to her, a faint smile playing on his lips. "And you'll make sure it stays that way." Ella laughed softly, the weight of their journey lifting just enough to let hope creep in. "You're not so bad for a billionaire, Carter, and you're not so bad for an activist, Harper," he teased, his smile growing. The two stood in silence for a moment, the distant sound of sirens blending with the city's hum. The battle wasn't over, but for now, they had won a victory that mattered. The city buzzed with the aftermath of the gala. Headlines screamed about Robert Carter's arrest and Green Tech's scandalous collapse, but within the noise, a different narrative began to emerge. The park and its ancient oak tree had become a symbol of resilience, a rallying cry for change in a city long overshadowed by corporate greed. Ella and Liam stood at the heart of that movement, but the battle they thought they had won was far from over. Ella was at the park, overseeing the planting of new trees alongside volunteers. The expansion project was finally underway, and the area buzzed with laughter and the sound of shovels breaking soil. The oak tree, though weathered, stood tall as ever, its branches reaching skyward like a beacon of hope. As Ella handed a sapling to a young volunteer, her phone buzzed in her pocket. She ignored it at first, but when it buzzed again, something in her gut told her to look. It was a text from Liam. "We need to talk. Urgent. Meet me at the office tonight." Her heart sank. After everything they'd been through, the word urgent wasn't one Liam used lightly. Ella entered Green Tech's stark, minimalist office that evening to find Liam pacing in the dim light of his office. Papers were scattered across the desk, and his usually composed demeanor was nowhere to be found. He looked up as she entered, his face etched with worry. "What's going on?" Ella asked, her voice steady but concerned. Liam gestured to the papers on the desk. "I've been digging through the company's records, trying to clean up the mess my father left behind." "And?" Ella prompted, crossing her arms. Liam hesitated, running a hand through his hair. "I found something I didn't want to believe." He handed her a file. Ella flipped it open, her eyes scanning the pages. As the words sank in, her blood ran cold. The documents detailed secret agreements between Green Tech and a shadowy network of private investors. These deals didn't just involve draining the aquifer beneath the park. They pointed to a much larger plan to exploit water resources across the region. The park was only the beginning. "This wasn't just about the park," Liam said, his voice tight. "My father was setting up a system to control the city's water supply. The aquifer under the park is connected to others across the area. If they'd gone through with the project, they'd have the power to privatize water for millions of people." Ella stared at him, her mind reeling. "You're saying this wasn't just about profit. It was about control," Liam nodded. "And the worst part? Some of these contracts are still active. My father's arrest hasn't stopped them. They're already moving forward with plans in other areas." Before Ella could respond, the office door creaked open. They both turned to see one of Green Tech's senior board members step inside. Ella recognized him from the gala, Richard Coleman, a longtime ally of Robert Carter. Well, Richard said, his tone dripping with condescension. "It seems the prodigal son and his activist friend have uncovered more than they should." Liam's eyes narrowed. "What are you doing here?" Richard smirked, tying up loose ends. "Your father may be out of the picture, but the rest of us have no intention of letting his plans go to waste." Ella's pulse quickened as Richard's words sank in. "You mean you're still going through with this?" "Of course," Richard replied smoothly. "Do you have any idea how much is at stake here?" The park was a minor setback. "We've already secured permits for the next phase, and thanks to you two, the media circus has everyone distracted." Liam stepped forward, his fists clenched. "You think you can just carry on like nothing happened? The files are out. The world knows. Richard laughed. A cold, hollow sound. The world knows about Robert Carter. Not us. As far as anyone's concerned, you're the hero who took down a corrupt father. But if you try to interfere with our plans, well, let's just say accidents happen. Ella's stomach churned. You can't get away with this. Richard raised an eyebrow. Watch me. As soon as Richard left, Liam slammed his fist on the desk, sending papers flying. I should have seen this coming. My father wasn't acting alone. He was just the face of something much bigger. Ella placed a hand on his arm, her voice calm but firm. Liam, this isn't over. We can still stop them. He shook his head. How? They've got the resources. The connections. Even with the files we released, they're already regrouping. Ella straightened, determination hardening her voice. Then we hit them harder. We find the proof, expose the rest of them. But we do it together. Liam looked at her, his gaze searching. You don't have to do this. Ella, you've already done enough. She smiled faintly. You don't get it. Do you? This isn't just about the park anymore. This is about fighting for what's right, no matter how long it takes. Liam nodded slowly, the fire in her eyes rekindling his own resolve. Then let's finish what we started. The next few weeks were a blur of activity. Ella and Liam worked tirelessly, following the paper trail Richard had left behind. They uncovered connections to political leaders, foreign investors, and even law enforcement officials who were complicit in the scheme. The deeper they dug, the more dangerous it became. One night, as they pieced together the final pieces of evidence, Liam paused, his voice breaking the silence. Ella, if this goes wrong, if something happens to me, promise me you'll see this through. Ella looked up from her laptop, her expression fierce. Nothing's going to happen to you. Liam, we're in this together. The pair launched their findings in a carefully orchestrated campaign. Instead of a single explosive release, they fed the information to trusted journalists and whistleblower organizations. Each day brought a new revelation, turning public opinion against the network of greed that had thrived in the shadows. As protests erupted across the city and beyond, Richard Coleman and his allies found themselves under intense scrutiny. Arrests followed, and the privatization plans were shut down before they could begin. With the fight behind them, Ella and Liam returned to the park. The oak tree stood as a silent witness to all they had endured, its branches swaying gently in the breeze. So, Ella said, breaking the silence, what happens now? Liam smiled, the weight on his shoulders finally lifting. We rebuild the park, the company, everything. But this time, we do it right. Ella nodded, her gaze softening. And us? Liam reached for her hand, his voice steady. We keep fighting, together. As they stood beneath the tree, the city stretched out before them, a city forever changed by their courage, their determination, and the truth they refused to bury. The park was quiet, as the golden rays of the setting sun filtered through the branches of the ancient oak tree. Beneath its sprawling canopy, Ella and Liam sat side by side on a wooden bench, their silence filled with a sense of accomplishment and unspoken gratitude. Around them, children laughed as they chased one another, their joy a stark contrast to the battles fought to preserve this place. It feels different now, Ella said softly, her gaze fixed on the tree. Like it's breathing easier. It should, Liam replied, his voice equally quiet. It's been through a lot, just like us. Ella turned to him, a faint smile tugging at her lips. Do you ever think about how far we've come? From that first meeting in the council hall to this? Liam chuckled, leaning back against the bench. I thought you were impossible back then. Loud. Stubborn. Completely unreasonable. And now? Ella asked, raising an eyebrow. Now, I think you're still impossible, Liam said, his tone teasing. But I also think you're brilliant. And brave. And exactly what I needed to remind me of who I want to be. Ella felt her cheeks warm, but she didn't look away. You're not so bad yourself. Carter, for a billionaire. High praise, Liam said with a smirk. He turned serious for a moment, his gaze drifting back to the tree. Do you think it'll last? Everything we fought for? Ella reached out, placing her hand on his. It'll last as long as we care enough to protect it. And I don't see us giving up anytime soon. The park wasn't just a place anymore, it was a legacy. The community had rallied around it, planting flowers, installing benches, and creating spaces for people to gather and connect. Ella's workshops with local youth had grown into a full-fledged program, inspiring a new generation of environmental advocates. And Liam's evergreen project was thriving, funding sustainability efforts across the city and beyond. Every few weeks, Ella and Liam returned to the park to check on its progress, though they both knew the visits were as much for themselves as they were for the tree. Each time, they found it stronger, its branches reaching a little higher toward the sky. "This place feels like home," Liam said one afternoon, watching as a group of volunteers painted a mural on a nearby wall. "It is home," Ella replied, her voice warm. "Not just for us, but for everyone who fought to keep it." Liam glanced at her, his expression softening. "Thank you, Ella, for not giving up on me on this." She squeezed his hand, her smile unwavering. "We didn't give up on each other." As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the park in warm hues of amber and gold, Ella and Liam stood beneath the ancient oak tree, their silhouettes framed by its sprawling branches. The air was quiet, filled only with the distant laughter of children and the rustle of leaves in the evening breeze. "This tree has been through so much," Ella said, her voice soft but steady. "And it's still here, standing tall, just like us," Liam added with a faint smile, his gaze shifting from the tree to her. "And as long as people like you care, it will keep standing." If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who cares about making a difference, and subscribe to our channel. Together, we can protect what matters most.